Now there's lots to talk about in the tech world right now. 40 series GPUs, DDR5 RAM, Gen 5 speeds and the rest. But that's all boring really, and who wants another video on that? So in the true budget nature of this channel, guess what? I've brought another Dell Optiplex. But don't be fooled, it's not this Dell Optiplex. It's this Dell Optiplex, and quite honestly, it's a cracker. My name's Andy, and this is Andy's Tech. And yes, I've brought another Dell Optiplex, and I'm pretty excited about this one. Gone are the days, my fellows, of Sandy Bridge bangers. We've now entered the realms of 6-core budget beasts. This is a great day for us budget gamers, but what exactly do I have here in front of you? So this is a Dell 3060 mini tower that I paid just £102 for the other day on eBay. Not only is it clean enough to eat your dinner off, it's packing some pretty impressive specs for the price. Now I've dropped the bomb already. Yes, it has got a 6-core CPU, an i5-8500 to be precise. Now this is a really capable little chip even in 2023, 5 years after its launch. It leaps above the previous 6th and 7th generation of quite honestly weak Intel i5 CPUs. It sports 6 cores, 6 threads. Yes, Intel were playing catch up with AMD at this time. It has a base clock of 3 GHz with an all-core boost of 3.8 GHz. The TDP is 65 watt and it's based on the 14nm process. But what's more, we have Intel UHD 630 integrated graphics. Now granted, it is Intel UHD 630 graphics, but we're going to have some fun with it later anyhows. Specs wise, they're not great as we can see, but it supports DirectX 12, has driver support and even supports 4K 60 FPS video playback. What more do you need, guys? Now I am going to upgrade this system and turn it into a proper budget gaming PC in a future video, but for today's purpose we're going to be testing it as it is and just throw some popular esports titles at it and see how it does. Now one thing you do need to run anything is RAM, and this thing has bags of it. 16 gigabytes to be precise, in dual channel and running at 2666 megahertz. Yes, I've brought a Dell that actually came with dual channel RAM. It wasn't specified in the listing and I was expecting the usual Dell tomfoolery with just one stick. But the Intel UHD graphics will thank us for that, as we all know too well what single channel RAM and integrated graphics mean. Yes, pain. This model only has 2 slots, so if you're thinking of future upgrades and going for 32 gigabytes, you will need to be buying a whole new kit. There's a proper 256 gigabyte M.2 SSD. Yes, at this price point we're getting M.2 SSDs these days. It does support both NVMe and SATA M.2 drives, but it will only run at PCIe 2.0x4, so you won't be getting those super fast Gen 3 and Gen 4 speeds, but it will still be a lot faster than a SATA drive. Literally mechanical hard drives are no more, guys. The prices of SSDs have really come down in the last few months, and although 256 gigabytes is fairly small, this means replacing this or adding a second SATA drive is cheap and it's a cost-effective upgrade. There's also plenty of room for extra storage as well in the case, and being a Dell it's all really accessible. Need Wi-Fi? There's also an expansion for an M.2 Wi-Fi card. This may be included in some models, so it's maybe worth inquiring with the seller if you're planning on buying a similar system like this to see if one is included. We've a useful collection of PCI expansion ports, so this system will take a full 2-slot graphics card as well. There was a USB Type-C card included, which is a really nice touch to be honest, as more and more devices are using these days. PSU wise, we've the standard Dell proprietary rubbish. It's 260 watt 80 plus bronze unit. There's no supplemental power connection, so adding a discrete graphics card will be limiting. That said, the whole system pulls around 100 watts, so you could probably get away with an undervolted GTX 1660 or RX 580 with some janky adapters. Watch this space. The front I/O is worth a quick shout though, and it's usable with an optional SD card reader, headphone jack, 2 USB 2.0 ports and 2 USB 3.1 ports. The rear is also very OEM, but it's usable with an audio out, HDMI and display ports, Ethernet and the same USB ports as the front. So that's the specs, but how does it perform, as I'm sure you're all dying to know. So first up, I ran a Cinebench R20 and we returned a free score average of 2057, which isn't too bad to be fair. It's a little behind the Ryzen 5 1600s, but that has more threads. It's roughly on par with an i3 10100F, which is also a great budget chip. Heaven time now and integrated graphics pain time, but in all seriousness, I thought it would do a lot worse. 1080p low and we returned a score of 898 with 35.7 FPS, which honestly beats a GT 710 quite a lot. Now yes, that's not really anything to shout about, but if you're weird like me and you love integrated graphics, it's quite impressive, and I think you'll be surprised when we come to testing some games out on it in a second. But please don't think I'm pushing this for gaming, but it will honestly get you by if needs be. So without further ado, let's roll some benchmarks.
My first step.
So that's the performance as it stands, and really it didn't do too bad. I mean, if you just wanted something for college or schoolwork and to play some Valorant in your downtime, this honestly ticks all the boxes. Again, I'm not pushing this as it stands for gaming, but you've seen the benchmarks and it will honestly get you by if needs be. But really, I'm interested to see what we can make this into. And you never know, we may even be able to get something quite juicy GPU-wise inside. So that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'd love to know your thoughts as always. It's definitely a great time for budget PC gaming, and I've also got the AMD pre-built we took a look at in the last video, and I'm going to do a £250 custom versus pre-built budget gaming PC standoff, so watch this space. Please leave a like and a comment. It's always lovely to hear from you guys. Take care, God bless, and hopefully see you in the next one.